Hey, my name is Bennett May, and this is the Learning Module 2 for SED 250-802. And here I'm answering the questions based off the documentary we watched. And what was my reaction to the documentary? And what part of the documentary impacted you the most and why? Well, I know for me personally, I work with people with special needs and different all different types of disabilities, um, and it hits home because it it impacted me because it really shows what I've seen in real life of how these people are very smart, very intelligent. You don't even really realize they have a disability because they're just smart and intelligent in a different type of way. Um, and I just put it kind of brought it home to me on that. And the next question is intelligence, or the next bullet point is the intelligence is often solely defined by a number. Do you believe IQ impacts perception? Why or why not? Um, well, intelligence is technically defined by a number, which is IQ, and IQ is mainly determined through pattern recognition and things of that matter. And some people aren't good at recognizing patterns, but they're also very, very intelligent. And absolutely, I do believe IQ impacts perception, and I think it impacts it in a negative way, in a misleading sort of way. Okay, next bullet point. How do you define intelligence? Do you think IQ tests or any standardized tests can predict a person's ability to learn? Do you think that the levels of severity of intellectual disabilities impact an individual's ability to achieve post-secondary outcomes of employment? Um, I define intelligence by, I mean, there's multiple ways to define intelligence. There's factual intelligence, memorizing facts, um, and there's social intelligence, kind of your social meter and how that affects you. A, a lot of people who are quote unquote not disabled have a good balance of factual and social intelligence. Some people that are quote unquote disabled have very good factual intelligence, but not as good as social intelligence. So, way better factual intelligence than a non-disabled person. So, it, I think it gets skewed for sure. Um, I do think that the lack of social skills in a lot of cases does affect um, the outcomes of employment and independent living because um, a lot of people, especially people who aren't trained to work with people with disabilities, aren't willing to take the time. If they're not willing to, they just see this person, they see that it's in their minds, they see someone who has a problem, and they just don't want to deal with them, and that's really sad because there's a lot of intelligent people out there, really good people who need to get who need employment. They need their independence. That's all they really want. Yeah. And then the last question, or the bullet point, is, in your opinion, what would it take to create a more inclusive society where every one of us is truly welcomed and valued? Well, I mean, I think the simple thing is you need to just have education. You need to teach people about these things. A lot of people they're scared to work with people with disabilities and to deal with people with disabilities. I've seen it firsthand. And people don't, they're just normal people that are just a little bit different than everybody else. But they're, I don't know. I just think, yeah, I think education. Um, people are, it makes people uncomfortable to deal with some of these things that make them uncomfortable, and they're they become a little recalcitrant, and um, and their motivation to learn about these things. But I think they really should. I think they really should. Before I worked with my company, me personally, I didn't know much about people with disabilities, and I will say I was it was pretty daunting to to uh, to take on this task. But I don't know. I think it's good for everybody. I think it needs to be a part. It needs These people matter, and I think people need to learn that. So that's my little spiel about this assignment. Thanks for watching.